What if you went back in time, not with a gadget or a weapon, but with a simple biological fact? What if you arrived in the worst moment in human history, a time of universal death, and discovered you were the only thing it could not touch? You open your eyes. You are lying in a ditch by a muddy road. The air is thick with the smell of wood smoke, dung, and something else, something sweet and rotten. You sit up. Your bones click. You look at your hands. They are clean, white phalanges, a skeleton. You remember the accident, the light, the feeling of being pulled apart and reassembled wrong. Or perhaps right. You stand. Your feet, bare metatarsals, sink into the cold mud. You are on the outskirts of a town. The walls are stone, the gates are wood. And from within, you hear the sound of bells. Not church bells. A single, mournful toll. A death knell. You walk toward the gate. A cart is leaving, pulled by a man with a cloth tied over his face. The cart is piled with bodies. Their skin is dark with bruises. Their necks and armpits are swollen with grotesque lumps. The Black Death. You understand where you are, when you are. The man sees you. He freezes. He stares at your skeletal face, your empty ribcage. He makes a sign of the cross with a trembling hand. He abandons the cart and runs back through the gates, screaming. You enter the town. The streets are narrow, paved with uneven stones. Rats scuttle in the shadows, unafraid. Doors are marked with red crosses. Windows are shuttered. In a square, you see them, the plague doctors. They wear long leather cloaks and grotesque beaked masks. They are trying to bleed a writhing man on a table. They are applying leeches to the dark swellings. They are failing. The patient dies as they work. One of the doctors turns. He sees you. He points. All activity stops. They do not run. They are too exhausted, too surrounded by death, to fear another strange sight. They simply stare. You walk closer. The lead doctor, his voice muffled by the perfumed herbs in his mask's beak, speaks. What manner of spirit are you? A demon come to collect? You look at the dead man. You look at the rats. You understand. Yersinia pestis, a bacterium, transmitted by fleas. It attacks the lymphatic system, the lungs, the blood. It requires a living host, flesh, blood, organs. You have none. You are calcium phosphate and collagen, a walking scaffold. You are the perfect immune system, because you have no system left to infect. You reach out a bony hand and place it on the dead man's forehead, a gesture of pointless blessing. The doctors watch. One of them, younger, his hands stained, whispers, "It touches the pestilence and is not afflicted." Hey, hold on! Before we go further on this epic journey, let me ask, where are you watching from? Leave a comment down below. And if this tale of knowledge, power, and downfall has captured you as much as it captured us, please hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. And yeah, smash that like button to help us spread this story to more people. That single observation changes everything. The doctors are not fools. They are desperate men using the best wrong ideas of their time. They see a phenomenon. You do not sicken. You do not die. They bring you to a pest house, a building filled with the dying. The air is a miasma of sweat, vomit, and decay. You walk among the pallets. You touch fevered brows with your phalanges. You move bodies when asked. For days, you work, and you remain pristine, unchanged. The plague doctors watch. They note everything. They call you l'immaculé, the Unsullied. Rumors begin. They say a walking saint has come, a martyr whose flesh was stripped away by divine fire, leaving only holy bones. They say death itself walks among them, but it is a compassionate death, one that tends to the dying without fear. The local lord, Baron T-Bolt, hears of you. He has lost his wife, 2 sons, and half his household. He is barricaded in his stone keep, terrified. He sends his captain to fetch you. You are taken to the castle. The Baron is a gaunt man, his eyes wide with panic. He looks at you from across a long table. "They say the pestilence does not take you," he says, his voice shaky. You nod your skull. A simple gesture. "Can you stop it?" he asks. You cannot. You know this. You are not a cure. You are a statistical anomaly, a zero in the equation of transmission. But you can do something they cannot. You can go where the sickness is thickest. You can retrieve. You can move. You can work without rest, without fear. You are the ultimate sanitary worker in a world that does not understand sanitation. You point a finger toward the town. You mime pulling a cart. You point to the fields outside the walls. The Baron understands. "You will clear the dead," he says. It is not a question. It is an order born of desperate hope. They give you a cart. They give you a wide berth. You work, day and night. You enter plague-stricken houses where families lie dead together. You load them onto your cart. You take them beyond the walls to mass graves. You do not tire. You do not breathe the foul air. You do not fear the fleas that leap from rotting clothes. They bite nothing. They find no blood. To the people, it is a miracle. They see the walking bones performing the most horrific, most necessary task. They see you unaffected. Their fear of you slowly mixes with awe, then with dependence. The town's death rate does not drop because of you. The plague runs its course, but the bodies are removed faster. The streets are slightly cleaner. The psychological effect is immense. They have a symbol, something the plague cannot touch. The Baron sees this. He sees the people looking to the castle, to him, for providing this strange protection. His authority, which was crumbling, begins to solidify around you. You become his asset, his miracle. He parades you on the castle walls for the people to see. He has you stand beside him when he addresses the frightened crowd. You are a talisman, a living relic. Power, you begin to understand, is not just about what you can do. It is about what people believe you can do. They believe you are a shield. They believe your presence alone holds back the darkness. You do not correct them. You cannot speak. Your silence becomes profound wisdom. Your skeletal face becomes an icon of stoic endurance. You have risen. From a curiosity in a ditch, to a worker, to a symbol. You are clean in a world of filth. You are permanent in a world of decay. You are the unkillable man. And in a time of universal death, that makes you the most powerful thing imaginable. For now, your influence grows. The worst of the plague passes through the town. It is not because of you. The bacterium has killed the susceptible and moved on. But in the minds of the people, it is a direct result of your presence. The Baron's town has a lower death count than the neighboring regions. This fact is noted. Messengers arrive from other lords, from bishops, even from a representative of the distant king. They all want to see l'Immaculée, the skeleton who defeated the Black Death. The Baron, Thibault, is now a man transformed. His gaunt face has filled out with pride and ambition. He hosts these dignitaries in his hall. You are his centerpiece. You stand in a corner of the room, motionless. They stare. They circle you. They ask the Baron questions. Can it speak? No. Its wisdom is beyond words. Can it bless? Its touch is a blessing. It carried the pestilent dead and was not stained. Can it cure? The Baron hesitates only a second. It creates an aura of protection. Where it walks, the pestilence retreats. This is the lie that takes root. The simplification. You were a resilient worker. Now you are a walking cure. The Baron cannot correct it. His new power depends on it. You are moved from the pest houses and the graveyards. Your cart is taken away. Your purpose is no longer labor. It is display. You are taken on a tour of the Baron's lands. You ride in a wagon, seated on a simple chair. Peasants line the muddy roads. They kneel. They hold up sick children. They beg for a touch, a glance. The Baron allows you to descend occasionally. You walk slowly past them. You let your bony fingers brush over a child's head. It is a hollow gesture. The child may live or die based on factors you cannot control. But if it lives, it is a miracle. If it dies, it was not God's will. Your power is never blamed. It is always affirmed. This is your first limitation. You are trapped in a story, the story of the miraculous skeleton. You cannot break character. You have no voice to explain the truth. You are a symbol, and a symbol must be passive. It must be interpreted by others. The second limitation is physical. You are not invulnerable. You are fragile. One morning, as you are being positioned on a small platform for the weekly market blessing, a drunkard stumbles into you. He is grieving, angry at God. He shoves you. You fall from the platform 2 feet to the cobblestones. There is a sharp crack. Your right ulna, a forearm bone, fractures cleanly. The crowd gasps. The Baron's guards seize the man, but all eyes are on you. You sit up. You look at your arm. The bone is snapped, a jagged white line. No blood, no scream, just structural damage. You pick up the broken piece with your other hand. You hold the two ends together. The Baron rushes over, his face pale. Can it be mended? He hisses to his physician. The physician, an old man who still believes in humors, examines you. He prods the bone. It is like a broken cart axle, my lord. It must be set and bound. But with what? It has no flesh to swell, no blood to heal. They fashion a splint from wood and wrap it tightly with linen strips. You are careful with the arm. But the incident is witnessed. The unkillable man can be broken. The symbol has a crack. Whispers start. If its bones can break, what else is possible? Can it be burned? Can it be shattered with a hammer? The Baron tries to control the narrative. He declares the broken bone a sign. It has taken our suffering into its very frame, he announces. The crack is a holy stigmata. Some believe him. Others are not so sure. The third and deepest limitation reveals itself. The systems you depend on. You depended on the Baron's need for a worker. That need is gone. You now depend on his need for a political asset. This is a more precarious position. You also depend on the ignorance of the people. Their belief is your power. And belief is a fickle thing. A new plague doctor arrives from Paris. A learned man. He is not wearing the beaked mask. He wears simple robes. He has heard the tales of the living skeleton and is deeply skeptical. He observes you for days. He watches you not eat, not drink, not sleep. He examines the splint on your arm. He asks the original plague doctor's detailed questions. What exactly did you do? You moved bodies. You touched the sick. You did not fall ill. The Parisian doctor finds the Baron. My lord, he says, his tone respectful but firm. This is no saint. This is a natural phenomenon, a curiosity. The pestilence requires the fluids of life. This thing has none. It is not immune. It is simply incompatible, like a stone cannot drown. The Baron is annoyed. It is a miracle that saved my town. The plague saved your town, my lord, by running out of victims. This skeleton was merely a useful tool. It is not a source of protection. To believe so is to invite complacency. The filth remains. The rats remain. The sickness may return. This is the dangerous idea. The idea of truth. The Baron has the man escorted from his lands. But the seed is planted. In the Baron's own mind, doubt creeps in. He looks at you differently. Are you a divine gift or a useful accident? If you are just an accident, your value is finite. It can be used up. The demands on you grow. A neighboring count, whose lands are still ravaged, sends a blunt demand. He wants the skeleton brought to his castle to bless his family. The Baron refuses. Tensions rise. The Count threatens to take you by force. The Baron realizes you are no longer just an asset. You are a liability, a magnet for conflict. You stand in your small chamber, a room in the castle keep. You look at your splinted arm. You are a tool that has become too valuable to use and too controversial to keep. Your power was an illusion built on a biological fluke and desperate hope. The hope is fading. The desperation is turning into something else, into calculation, into fear. You are not a cure. You are a curiosity. And in a world ruled by faith and fear, a curiosity that fails to perform miracles has a very short shelf life. The cracks are no longer just in your bones. They are in the story that sustains you. And the Baron is starting to read a different ending. The invitation arrives on heavy parchment, sealed with wax. It is from the bishop. The regional bishop has heard the conflicting tales, the miracle and the skepticism. He wishes to see l'Immaculée for himself, to examine this wonder and determine its nature, divine relic or diabolical trick. The Baron cannot refuse the church. His political power is a candle flame next to the church's sun. He is nervous. He instructs you. You will be silent. You will be respectful. You will allow the bishop to inspect you. The journey to the episcopal palace is tense. You ride in a covered wagon, your splinted arm hidden beneath a cloak. The Baron rides ahead, surrounded by his guards. You are no longer a symbol of hope on display. You are a piece of evidence being transported to a trial. The palace is cold stone and stained glass. You are led not to a grand hall, but to a private chapel. The bishop is an old man with sharp, intelligent eyes. He does not look afraid. He looks curious, like a scholar examining a rare insect. The Baron stammers through his story, the miracle, the protection, the holy service. The bishop listens. Then he turns to you. Remove the cloak. You let it fall. Your skeletal form is revealed in the candlelight. The linen-wrapped splint is stark against your white radius and ulna. And the binding? Is it wounded? The bishop asks. It suffered an injury, your grace. A fall. It took the suffering of the people upon itself. The Baron invents. The bishop's lips thin slightly. He approaches. He does not touch you. He circles. He looks into your empty eye sockets. He examines your joints, your teeth, the clean, unmarked surface of your bones. It does not eat, the Baron offers. It does not drink, the Baron adds. The bishop finally speaks, his voice soft. It does not live. That is the observation, is it not? A thing that does not live cannot be killed by a sickness. This is not theology, Baron. This is mechanics. The Baron's face falls. The bishop sees it. He understands the political game. He understands the value of a relic. But he also understands the danger of a false one. It has brought comfort to your people, the bishop states. That is not without value. But comfort is not sanctity. This object is a natural mystery. Perhaps it is God's creation, yes. But so is a strangely shaped stone. We do not worship the stone. He decides. A Solomonic judgment. You are not declared demonic. That would cause upheaval. You are declared neutral. A wonder of nature, to be studied by the church's learned men. You will remain in the bishop's custody. The Baron is to be commended for his faith and may return to his lands. Without you. The Baron protests, but weakly. He sees the relief in the bishop's eyes. The relief of having the problem removed. The Baron is given a blessing and a small token of the church's favor. He is paid for his trouble. He looks at you one last time. There is no gratitude in his eyes. Only the cold calculation of a man who has traded a risky asset for a safe reward. He leaves without looking back. You are taken to a different part of the palace, a scriptorium. You are placed in a corner. For weeks, monks come to look at you. They sketch your bones. They measure you. They write notes in thick volumes. They debate in Latin whether you are the remains of a saint, animated by will, or a purely physical automaton moved by celestial gears. They try to get you to react, to point to scripture, to move toward a cross. You remain still. Your silence, once profound, is now just an absence of data. The interest fades. You are a puzzle that cannot be solved because it cannot speak. You are moved again to a storage room. It is dark, filled with other curiosities. A stuffed crocodile hangs from the ceiling. A collection of oddly shaped rocks sits on a shelf. You are placed on a wooden stand. The door is closed. The lock turns. Time passes. You do not sleep. You stand in the darkness. You hear the bells mark the hours, the days, the seasons. The splint on your arm loosens. One day, you move the arm slightly. The broken ends of the ulna, held in proximity for so long, have fused. Imperfectly, a knobby callus of bone. You heal, in your own slow mineral way. Years later, the door opens. A young novice is sent to fetch something. He sees you and gasps. He runs to get the old librarian. The librarian, his beard white, looks at you. He had forgotten you were there. He sighs. That old thing, the bone man from the plague years. He tells the novice a fragmented story, a story that already sounds like a legend. What should we do with it, brother? The novice asks. The librarian shrugs. It is just an old skeleton. We have many. Take it down to the charnel house with the others. The charnel house is a small, damp crypt beneath the cathedral. It is where they store the bones cleared from the cemetery to make room for new burials. It is a democracy of the dead. Skulls and femurs are piled neatly along the walls. You are carried down and placed on a pile. Your distinct, unyellowed whiteness is lost among the bleached remains of hundreds. You sit there. Decades pass, then centuries. The crypt is sealed, forgotten. Builders, centuries later, excavating for a new foundation, break through an old wall. They find the crypt. They see the piles of bones. They see you among them. Just another skeleton. They shrug. They carefully remove all the bones. They are given a respectful reburial in a common ossuary. A plaque is placed. It reads, "Here rest the unknown dead of many ages." Your bones are mixed with the rest. Your skull is separated from your femur. Your fused ulna is placed next to a stranger's tibia. You are dissolved into the collective, the ultimate limitation. You survived the Black Death because you were not alive. But you existed within history. And history does not preserve curiosities. It absorbs them. It turns individuals into data points, stories into dust, and anomalies into part of the background noise. The system continued. Medicine advanced. They discovered the bacterium. They discovered the fleas. They discovered antibiotics. They understood the mechanics you knew by accident. Your advantage was not knowledge. It was a biological fluke. And a fluke has no legacy. It is a dead end. The world went on without you.